All right, everybody. So this will be part 2 to the Kawasaki rebuild, I guess you could say it. And in this episode, I'm going to be doing the new front main seal, the crankshaft. We'll be putting it in, and I'll slide in one of the pistons and show you how that goes, torque it down, yada yada yada. And first things first, let's get a little bit of oil on this booger. Just a good little healthy coating there, and go ahead and put some on the inside. It ain't gonna hurt it. All right, and then we're gonna set that in there kind of flush. I bet you everybody's screaming at me, no, don't put that in there without having the crankshaft in. Yeah, I mean, once you've done it for a little while, you can pretty much, you gotta have it in. And this is where kind of cheaper tools kind of come in handy. I got this gear wrench. It's a 1.5 inch socket, 12 point. I think I bought this at Advance when they were going on sale. You know, all their Tech Rec, Tech Pro, and gear wrench stuff. It was, I think I paid like $1.50 for the socket, dirt cheap. And it was a 3/4 drive. So I talked to my Mac dealer, and I got a 3/4 to 1/2 inch adapter, which, you know, I think it was 15, 20 bucks, wasn't too bad. But I also got these extensions. These are, I think these are Tech Pros, but just a little short extension. And being they were cheap, I paid $1.15 for this one. I know that. And I paid $1.25 for, I guess it would be a 10 inch something. But it's nice because these, you know, I wail on them. I'm not going to use them. I use them basically kind of as a punch of sorts. And then I got my favorite hammer here. I made this one a long time ago. I took the head and made the handle there. But it's really, really nice, small, tight. And we're just gonna set this in here. Oh, my bearing fell out. I was like, what in the world happened? All right. Give me one good little whack right there. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. And as you can see, that is what we want. That is beautiful. There's the bearing that fell out. Oops. Go ahead. Just pour just a smidge of oil in that, because it ain't gonna hurt. Yeah. Bet everyone else is screaming too, oh, you dumped oil all over the place. Well, not really. And I'll show you that here in just a second. That's another thing that's nice about this hammer. It gets in where you need it. All right, bring it back in. But no, I did not spill any oil. This is an old drain pan from out of a Mitsubishi Eclipse with a Chrysler 428 motor. Just poo-poo motors. But let's see if I can flip this around. No, won't let me do it. But yeah, just a little drain pan I got mounted to my desk here. And I got the drain cock over here. So I drain it in a bucket every day, but it just, you know, it's good for catching oil, gas, whatever else. But I always drain it before I use a grinder or anything, so there's no chance of big screw ups there or nothing. But yeah, so that's that. Another thing that's always good to have around is some kind of paper towels or old rags, t-shirts, pants, whatever you got, you know. That is the crankshaft, or the seal. And next we will do the crankshaft. So I'll be right back. Okay, back, and here is the crankshaft. And this is probably the easiest part of the whole assembly. I mean, taking it apart is a lot more difficult, but this is the easiest thing. And this thing weighs a pretty good bit. So let's get that there. The hardest part is just lining it up and taking your time. Like I say, you never want to be in a rush on any kind of this stuff. And I think yeah, okay. I just want to make sure that was all the way in there. Looks a little bit out. Maybe. I think my bearing may be just a little too far out. So, what I'm going to do is set that right like that. I am going to grab my punch here and slowly kind of tap this bearing in, make sure it goes in good. Yeah, it was out. Not bad, but that's a lot more better. Oop, I kicked the bucket. That looks a lot better. That's in there a lot better too. All right, now let's try this again. Put this crank back in here. I'm trying to get it to where you guys can see and to where I can manipulate myself. Okay. Slow and easy, and bam! There you go. There you have it. There is a crankshaft in there now. Mesmerizing. And now we are going to install a piston here. So let me show you all how to find out which one is cylinder 1 and cylinder number 2. Okay, so on lawnmowers, how to tell which one is cylinder number 1 and cylinder number 2. Cylinder number 1 is always going to be the cylinder closest to the flywheel, which that would be this side. The flywheel's not on there, obviously, because we're, redoing it, but this is the stator. So the cylinder that's closest to that. If you look at this cylinder, you look at this cylinder, and you look at the top, you'll notice this cylinder is a little bit further up than this one. So that means this is going to be your cylinder 1. And, basically with cars too, it's going to be the same way, except it's not going to be the cylinder closest to the flywheel. It's going to be which cylinder is closest to the harmonic balancer. So the closest one to that's going to be your number 1 cylinder. And then it'd be, so 1, 2, and then you'd have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever, V12, whatever it is. But that's how you tell that. So this here is cylinder number 1. this is cylinder number 2. Okay, so now that we've realized which one is cylinder number 1, now, you know, the important thing is knowing, okay, which one is piston number 1. Well, on mine, like I showed you before, I've marked my pistons. And this one here is number 1. I don't know if that's very good light there, but that is number 1. And this one, not a very good mark, but this one is number 2. Now, it doesn't matter how you mark them, as long as you know which mark is which. You could put a line or an X, and then on the other one put 2 X's. However you want to do it, A, B, C, D, it doesn't matter. But I know for a fact that this is cylinder number 1, I think. Yeah, this is cylinder number 1. Now, also to note, on these Kawasaki's, the tapered or recessed side here always goes out. So these 2 flush sides, these 2 sides here, always go together, like that. And the, you know, the little tapered edge there goes out towards the end of the crank. But that's how that goes. And the main thing is always just coat your stuff in oil. It doesn't matter. It'll burn off. It will be fine. It won't hurt anything. You don't want to go crazy and have gobs of oil everywhere, but you want oil on all these surfaces, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You know, it becomes a really big problem if you don't have enough oil. And I kind of got my hands dirty without pulling these bolts off like a dum-dum. But it's all right. Yep. Okay. So let me grab my little ratchet. And we'll try to loosen those up a bit. Nope, not gonna be able to do that. All right. Hold tight for a few seconds. Okay. What I got here is I got my little itty bitty vice pal here. I love this thing. This thing is amazing. It's a USA made. I got it at a pawn shop. Fairly cheap. Yeah, just like that. Ah, all right. There's those. And another thing with, I took a Kawasaki class too, and on these engines, the rep was talking, and he's a smart guy. His name was Nick. And he said on these engines, you do not need engine assembly lube. Now, I mean, I like to use it. I'd rather have it, but currently at this time, I don't have any. I have run out, but it's okay because we got plenty of oil. And he said on a first startup, because these are not, you know, these are pretty much built to spec. They're not, tolerances aren't that much. And I don't need to do that either. That'd just be kind of dumb. So just a little dab will do you. Okay. So we got that there. Now what we want to do is we want to move y'all back over here a little bit so you can kind of see a little bit better what's going on there. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, there we go. All right. And like I say, once again, oil, you can't get enough of it. You just can't get enough. Have to lube it. That's what she said. But, all right, now once again, see that tapered edge? That goes towards the, well, this cylinder number 1. That's going to go to the outside of the crank. And yes, I've already lined up my piston rings and all that too. All right. Now, I'll take that, crimp those down. Back here, just because I don't like getting oil all over the place. It's not a pleasant feeling. And what we're going to do is we're going to tap in that piston. We gotta be careful that we don't hit this crank here and scar it, because that would be a very bad thing to do. So just come back and check, make sure you're not too much in. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna hold that there. And we're in. I would turn this here. Careful, don't let it hit that connecting rod. So take your time, don't be in a rush. All right. And we can go ahead and there we go. We are in like flint. Let's get y'all down here for a little better view. All right. And you can't really see it too good, can you? Yeah, there you go. And there's that. Now next, you take your cap. You want to make sure your cap is oriented the same way, because it's got a little recess on it. Yeah, there we go. There. Whereas this side is flat. And I believe the torque spec for these is, I think it's 15 foot-pounds. And this is by the way, this is a Kawasaki FX850V. So yes, here's your torque specs. And the 850V is right here. The second row is your con rod torque, or connecting rod. So come over, it is 15 foot-pounds. Now I have a snap-on torque wrench that is measured in inch-pounds, and it's got a 3/8 head. And I think, if I'm correct, 15 times 12 is 6. I believe that's 160 inch-pounds. Yeah, because 2 times 15, or 2 times 5, yeah, that should be 160 inch-pounds, because 12 inch-pounds equals 1 foot-pound. So if it's 15 foot-pounds, it should be 160 inch-pounds. Math was a little off. That's 180 inch-pounds, not 160. I did a but yeah, because 2 times 15 is 30, and then 1 times 15, or 10 times 15 is 130. No. Wow, I'm doing it again. All right, 10 times 15 is 150, and then 2 times 15 is 30. So 30 and 150 is 180. Boy, I can't do math today. So we are going to set this torque wrench at 180 inch-pounds. And that's simply because my, I think my torque wrench I have for foot-pound. I don't think it'll even register 15 foot-pounds. That's kind of on the low side. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to do this in stages. It's not necessarily required, but it makes me feel a little bit better about myself. And I know that nothing's going to force itself. So the first one I'm going to do is going to be 120 inch-pounds, and then we'll bump it up to 140, and then 160, and then the final 180. Is this in right? Yes. Oh, it's a little bit of a booger to get started in there. There we go. And this is the longest part, is just, you know, tying it all by hand. Kind of sucks, but it's not too bad. Main thing is just a tight spot. And the head on these bolts, not the threads, but the head is a 10mm hex. And what I have for that is of course, I'm too oily. I got too much lube on me. I can't get it off. That's another thing these old snap-on screwdrivers are great for. It's just getting it in there between your ratchet and your socket, just bloop, pop it right off. But I have this snap-on 10mm semi-deep. It's great because it's not too short, not too long, and it's really, really nice. I like snap-on sockets because they are the warranty and they're really good quality. Not only that, but the plating on these things is, I think I've only had one socket kind of flake on me, really. But other than that, these things are great. They keep nice, and like I say, the warranty on snap-on sockets, you can't beat it. I mean, even if you do beat it, they'll still, most likely they'll warranty it. All right. That's 120 inch-pounds right there. Click type. All right, so that's 120. Now, like I said, I'm going to bump this up to 140. Uh-oh, where'd it go? There we go. And boom, right there. Hardest part is you can't see in there. Much. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to bump it up to the 180 here because we're pretty damn close. Eight, 0. My that in. All right, that's 180. And uno más. And there you have it. There is cylinder number 1. And now we got to do cylinder number 2. Woohoo!